Please welcome Michael Collier.
Well, hey, welcome. I'm so excited to be in front of you guys. Listen, this is my third EXPCon, and I am on the stage, so I'm feeling good. Y'all feel good? Listen, so I want to bring to you some of the top team leaders, not just at eXp Realty, but in the real estate industry. How many of you all out here by sound, just by show of hands or make some noise, if you are a current team leader? Team leaders. Okay. How many of you all make some noise if you're on a team? All right, good. So you're in the right session. I want this to be the most impactful session. I know I'm biased, right? But I want this to be the most impactful session of the whole thing. All right, so here's the thing. There's two things that I know and one thing I believe. First of all, I believe that leaders create leaders. Would you agree? Okay, I also know that you sacrificed a lot to be here, and you had to probably pull some people that are here with you right now, so you want EXPCon to be one of the most impactful things of their year, of their life, correct? But I also know that there's people that did not come to EXPCon that you know should have been here, right? Okay, so I want to make sure that you have actionable items to take away from these individuals. So the top team leaders that I'm going to be bringing up, I'm going to get them to open up their playbook. Are you good with that? All right, let's bring them, guys. First of all, I have Gusty Gulas. Gusty Gulas is the top team leader in Birmingham, Alabama, with his team, the Gusty Gulas Group. Yeah, make some noise. Listen, they closed 566 homes for $150 million in volumes just last year, 2021. Gusty is also the past president of his local association of realtors and was recently announced Emerging Leader from RealTrends. Give him some noise. Make some noise. All right, next up, we got Andrew Franklin. Yes, Andrew Franklin is the co-owner of the Franklin team out of Houston, which sold 1,500 or more than 1,500 homes for over $600 million just last year in 2021. Yeah. Here's the thing. Andrew also owns, this isn't the only thing he does. Andrew also owns several ancillary businesses in real estate, including title, real estate investing, hard money lending, and property management. Give him some noise. Make some noise, y'all. Give him some love. All right, last but certainly not least, we have none other than Mr. Whissel. So Whissel, check this out. Whissel leads a team of 60 plus agents in San Diego, California. His team sold over $4 billion in real estate and has been ranked number one. Yes, been ranked number one in San Diego 7 out of the last 8 years. He's also been named the number one real estate video influencer in North America by BombBomb. Y'all, make some noise for our panel. All right, so I'm going to get them to open up their playbook. They don't know exactly what I'm going to ask just yet, so they're looking a little nervous, but it's all good. All right, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so first of all, we have a lot of people, again, many team leaders out here, a lot of people who are maybe on a team looking to start a team at some point. So the first thing I want to talk about is team structure. I mean, these are some impressive numbers that we're hearing that you guys are selling. So as your team is selling and what you're doing, talk about that organizational structure. How are you structured in your business?
I'll start. So we've got a team of 30 agents, 10 support staff. That includes a chief marketing officer, chief of operations, in-house videographer / photographer, a runner, listing coordinator, closing coordinator, marketing associates, and events person. And so what we're trying to do is really our goal for our agents is for them to focus on dollar producing activities so that we've got everything else that they can, so we've got everything behind the scenes taken care of. So that's really probably the most important thing. We're trying to take things off of their plate so that they can do what they do best, sell houses.
I love it. I love it. Anybody else?
Yeah, we have a team of 30 agents as well, and everything we're doing, it's about growth and leverage. And so we have a whole leadership team. We have a president, a VP of ops, a VP of marketing, 2 sales managers, and then a whole listing team, and about 10 support, a runner, an ISA group. And so similar to Gusty, we're trying to get our agents to specialize. Our big, hairy, audacious goal is to get to 5,000 closings within the next 10 years. So everything is having that in mind.
Love it.
Yeah, come on. That's good. That's good stuff.
Our team, we have 60 agents. We have 30 admins. Of those 30, half of those are stateside, half of those are international. If you guys aren't using, we call them our international team as opposed to our VAs. It's crazy how like a subtle little word change makes a massive difference. If I say talk to my international team member versus my VA, just think like psychologically how one little word change can make a huge impact. So every person we have stateside, they have a counterpart internationally that supports them to take off all the tedious tasks, the data entry, the box checking, all of that stuff, so that our stateside people can stay focused on the relationships with the agents.
That's good stuff. That was a writer-downer right there. I like that. All right, so let's talk about culture. How are you maintaining your team culture? If your team was to step up here and say, hey, this team is all about this, right? What are you known for? Why are you attracting agents to your team at such a great rate?
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think the biggest thing that's helping us attract agents is we've built out an inside sales team to do a lot of like what Gusty talked about is we want to strip a lot of the tedious tasks away from our agents. I'm pretty sure most of you guys, when you got your real estate license, you didn't envision sitting on the phone for like 6 hours a day. But yet a lot of you guys are on teams or you're building a team and you're giving your agents lead and like get on the phone for 6 hours, 8 hours a day. Like that's not why anybody got their real estate license. They got their real estate license because they want to go out, they want to show houses, they want to negotiate deals, they want to cash checks and drive fancy cars. Like let's be real. Like, that's why you guys all got your license.
Does that resonate? Yeah. All right.
Like let's just be very real about it.
What do you drive?
We are very intentional. We're very intentional about trying to strip a lot of that away from the agents so they can stay focused on doing what they want to do. So we have a 7-person inside sales team. They take all of the leads that come in so that our agents can stay focused on going on appointments. The thing that I found, and this is a big mistake a lot of team leaders make, is that you go and you generate really, really crappy leads. You think in your head that the best thing you can do is like, let me just give my agents like 100 leads a month. But you go out and you buy the cheapest, crappiest leads you can. You're buying Facebook leads, you're buying pay-per-click leads that statistically convert at 1% at best, probably a fraction of a percent. And then the mistake that you make as a team leader is you get on your agent's butt all the time, like, why aren't you making phone calls? Call the leads, call the leads, call leads. You know damn well 1 out of 100 is going to convert. And now you're yelling at your agents. Well, guess what your agents are thinking back at you is like, you call the damn leads. If these leads are so good, you call them. Right? Like that's what's happening. So our goal with our inside sales team is let's strip all of those tedious calls away. Our agents only get the high converting leads, things like Zillow Flex, OpCity, which you guys all have access to. Hopefully you turn that on. And then they get the appointments from the ISA. So the ISAs will work the lead. They'll make the 24 contact attempts that it takes on average to get a response from a lead, 24 to get a response. They'll do all that work and then just tee the agents up with the appointments. And they can do what they want to do.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Go ahead. I'd like to think that we're known for our training. And so when an agent comes to our team, they have a 30-day, basically an agent startup, KickStart, whatever you want to call it, where we're in there, we've got homework for them on a daily basis so that we can get them really trained to go out there and start making the phone calls. We've got people started making phone calls on day 3 on our team. And then after that, they graduate basically to our mentorship program. So, really in our market, what I want to be known for is the best training place where they can come in and we've got our systems and processes where when somebody comes to our team, they are going to be successful. And if they're not successful in our format and our team, they really just can't be successful.
That's good. All right. So as you talk about systems and processes, let's go into that. What are some of the systems and processes like must-have systems? Is there anything that you believe that any team leader out here should have and the way they should be operating their team?
So I'll take this one. Write this down. 2 books you want to read, Traction and Rocket Fuel. Both Kyle and I, don't want to take your thunder, but both Kyle and I are using EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. Okay. It's a platform of rules and concepts where you can run any business. There's something like 170,000 companies on EOS, and it talks about every process, every system, how you hire, how you hold a meeting, how you have a cadence for a meeting, how you have culture in your company. And so everything we've been doing is based on EOS. Those are 2 great reads, and they have truly changed our business. And we have a system and process for pretty much everything we do now. Because if it's going to be done more than once, you should be following the same thing over and over.
Good.
Yeah, biggest thing for us is having a learning management system for when our agents join the team so that they can get all the education that they need. Regardless of how good your in-person training is, agents need a resource that they can go back to, because you're going to teach people things, then they're going to get out in the field, they're not going to remember how to do it. They need a resource that they can go back to re-watch. Because you could sit there and train them all day long and they have it down, but then they get under pressure and they're like, oh crap, what do I do? How do I do this? They need to have a place to go. So we actually just are moving everything over to Trainual. Trainual is an amazing system.
Yeah.
What we love with that is on the front end, we can have all of our training and videos to get people ramped up. And then there's a resource library on the back end. So if somebody has a question like, how do I set up the Wailopo open house tool? They can just type that in and boom, the article pops up exactly how to do it. So what that does is, 1, it gives them the instant answer that they need. And 2, it gives you the freedom to not have to be the instant answer anymore, because otherwise they're depending on you to get those answers. And it's really hard to build a business if everything depends on you.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So final question, market shift. The market has shifted. We can agree, right? The market has shifted. So how are you preparing your teams as they traverse this new territory, if you will? I mean, the market is always shifting, right? So that's nothing new, but what we've seen over the last 2 years is very different than what we're seeing right now. So how are you preparing your teams as they are going into this new world?
I think we've been preparing for it for a while.
Okay.
I mean, our vision word for the year was mastery. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted our agents to be in this room. We wanted them to getting different realtor designations. So what we did was we covered half. If somebody got a realtor designation, we covered half of that expense. If they came to this event, we covered half of their expense. So mastery and becoming an expert, I think, is the most important thing. I think we talked about systems and processes. We have daily activity checklist that we have our agents that are really focused on prospecting. They've got to hit their minimums of 25 contacts a day. And these are the things that you've got to do. You've got to be in, not necessarily office, but you've got to be in that place wherever that you are going to be focused on making those phone calls or making those connections. And you've got to just put in the effort right now. Otherwise, somebody else will, and somebody else is going to get your market share.
That's good. Yeah, preach. Right.
We're telling everyone on our team that what happened the last 3 years was not normal. What's happening now is normal. It's a healthy market, right? Inventory is still low. You can still get a listing and sell a house. Now you don't have to show 100 houses and write 10 offers if you're representing a buyer. And so understanding that this is normal and the last 3 years weren't, and we can still make a lot of money in this market. You just got to put your head down and go to work every day.
Get busy.
Yeah, for us, I got into residential real estate in 2008 when the market was arguably at its worst point. I am the big fan of that, be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. There's a lot of fearful realtors out there right now. Like, this is a huge opportunity to be greedy, to go pedal to the metal, because so many people right now, they're freaking out, they're panicking, and what they do is they just put their head in the sand and they hope the storm's gonna blow through. While their head is in the sand, we're gonna grab as much market share as we can, because statistically, there's more millionaires made in a down market than in an up market. So this is your chance to go and make that million right now.
Sounds like an abundance mindset, right? So is there anything, as we start to wrap up, is there anything that you would give to any team leaders or any actually not even just team leaders, but any of the agents that might be on a team? Like, is there anything impactful that you could deposit into them that they can write down and take action on? I believe that there's so many agents who come to events like these and they get all of this information, soak it all up, and we're all kind of guilty of it, right? We soak all of this information up, but then we actually don't take action on what we are learning, right? We don't go home and actually go over our notes and take action. So is there any actionable items that you want to impart to the group so that they can get home and begin taking action and change their future?
I would say have the end in mind, right? Like if someone's up here and we tell you our team structure, or someone you hear in another room, it might not be the right fit for you, right? Just because someone's on stage does not mean they know everything or it's the right fit for you. And so hold that perspective when you're going home and you're taking that 1 or 2 or 3 nuggets that you learned, and don't forget about having the end in mind, and what works for them might not work for you. And there's not a one-size-fits-all in real estate, and definitely not running a team. And so just take that 50,000-foot view of what you're really trying to accomplish, and then you build your business around that.
It's good. It's good.
I think, for us is I'm trying to build leaders within our team. And so that's part of our mentorship program. So I'm trying to identify future leaders, those mentors that we can continue to help and continue to grow the team. And that's probably the biggest takeaway for me is you've got to know exactly what you want out of your team and kind of have the end in mind, but also bring people with you and celebrate everybody on your team. And then it becomes like celebrate this company because we are all winning. And
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Leaders create leaders. Absolutely.
Biggest thing I would say is don't compare our chapter 20 to your chapter 1. Okay? So don't think just because he's going to sell 5,000 houses, and I know 100% that he will do it. Like, you don't need to sell 5,000 houses tomorrow. Right? He didn't sell 5,000 houses his first year. I sold 24 homes my first year. That's perfectly fine, right? Like, don't compare where we're at today to where you're at, okay? It's okay to start with chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3 and chapter 4. Now, the key to this whole thing is that you've got to implement systems into your business, and EOS is a huge part of it. And what you'll learn as you guys research EOS is that a business is built 90 days at a time. It's not going to be built overnight. So what you need to do when you guys go home from here is, if you haven't already had your Q4 planning session, you need to have a Q4 planning session. And you need to figure out what are those like 3 to 5 most important things you need to implement in your business in Q4 to move the needle. You're not going to implement 20 things. Don't go home from this with like 20 pages of notes, and we're going to do all of these things and change your whole business overnight. Be very intentional about what are those things you're going to do. And here's what's cool. You'll implement 3 things in Q4. Now you have 3 new systems and processes in place. Then you're going to implement 3 new things in Q1 and 3 new things in Q2 and 3 new things in Q3. And when you're back here a year from now you have 12 very intentional systems and processes that you built in your business, and everything flows really smoothly, as opposed to 600 things that are completely broken and busted.
Yeah. Trying to do 1% of 100 things as opposed to 100% of one thing, right? That's good. And so just to dive in a little bit deeper on that too, could you talk to us about your trajectory, right? Because you're putting up some numbers, Kyle. So talk to us about the trajectory of your team. What did that kind of start like, and then how's that progress been? Yeah,
so let's be very, very real. Like, this is not easy. I did 24 deals, 48, 82. And then I lost like $100,000 that year because I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a team. I'm going to do all this stuff. And I hired like all the wrong people. Like, basically, if they had a pulse, they got a job. It was like how you got loans 10 years ago, right? Like, it was just like that. We hired all the wrong people. I lost my face off. And it's okay, right? Like, you're going to have setbacks as you guys go through this. That's okay. But don't let those setbacks stop you. Learn from those. Like, there's a learning opportunity. Like, every setback you have, every mistake that you make, just figure out what's the lesson learned here. Like, what can I take from this? How can I grow? Because we're talking backstage, like, let's be very clear. This is not easy. Right? Andrew runs 5 businesses. This is the hardest business of the 5 that he runs. Like, this is not easy. So just understand, it's hard work. You guys got to push through it. But the key, I would say, moving forward is you got to recruit your face off. Like, Chet Black, I love the freaking guy. Listen to what he's talking about. You need to recruit your face off right now because you're going to have more attrition than you've ever had before. You need to consistently be bringing people in. But here's what we're experiencing in our business is the quality of people that we're attracting are significantly higher than what we were attracting 6 months ago. Because what we're attracting right now, we're attracting the agent who was doing 10 million, and now they're only doing 5 million. And they're freaking out like, oh my gosh, what do I do? We're attracting the agent who was doing 20 million, and now they're doing 10 million. because they're panicking right now, like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out, I can't do this, I'm gonna be out of business. Like, so we've attracted more quality agents in the last 90 days than we attracted in the 9 months prior to that.
Wow.
So there's so much opportunity to grow your business right now. So I would encourage you guys to get after and make recruiting to your team a focal point moving forward.
Listen, I wasn't able to write any notes, but the one takeaway that I have is attract your face off. That's my takeaway. Hey, give it up for them guys. Kyle Whissel, Andrew Franklin, and Gusty Gulas. Thank you, everybody.